Hey, good day, YouTubers. It's a high stress Friday. Another video in the series. Somehow I should have started these a long time ago and didn't. This is Anxiety 301. When you think you should have done more and you never could have done enough. But this is where it is today. It's a Friday coffee chat. Today's conversation is about wars and battles and how those words are used. These word things are powerful because words get imprinted in your mind with specific meanings, and until you hear the word in some context, that meaning doesn't get triggered or recalled back up, and all of a sudden it is, and it's a trigger, and it's got you focused on something. So these reactions, when you say war, that's a basal instinct reaction. You're going into primal parts of the brain, pulling reactions that aren't necessarily the best thought out. So this just happens. This is a fact. This is the absolute versus relative decisions that are made throughout life, because they're all relative to how well you can ponder through the situation, or do you just turn and run? Or do you go back to television? So yeah, these things can get deep. They can cause these things that people label as depression. And I think the word frustration should be a medical term, because that's more what I feel than a depression. So you hear these trigger words, you hear it's a battle, it's a war. These are negotiations over time. They can be brutal, but this is the dance of life. This is the way we have gotten here from there, is to continue figuring out how to work together, what we can give and take. It's called politics. And the basis for it is many things. It's money, it's beliefs, it's location, it's the state, it's your parents. All of these things put together you. And you own your decisions, not somebody else. Which makes life a little harder. So somehow that idea of battle and war has to stop. These are negotiations. We need to take the bombs away from the conversations. We need people to be able to talk about reproductive rights and our future, not theirs. Because pretty much once you're here, you have a right to be here. I don't know how you get around that. It's like saying the wild rabbit you see doesn't have a right to be here. Who the fuck are you? The rabbit didn't care. So how do you deal with the right to be here? I haven't got an answer for us, but I do know that too much faith hurts us. Understanding is a much better position to try to take. And until you understand something, you're best left to find folks that do, seek professional opinion, and that is a measured professional in a field related to what your questions are, not a philosophical expert in how we used to look at things, because it's changed too much. You can't do binary decisions. You can't do yes or no decisions on the bulk of life. It just is not that easy, as much as we'd like it to be. As much as we can build these simplest analog models of true and false, I don't think it works. But to go into the decision trees and processes takes time and negotiations, and that's all we have is time. Share it wisely.